Welcome back to Behind the Mic with AudioFile magazine. I am Joe Reed. Kendra Winchester is with me, and she has been suggesting some really terrific audiobooks to start out your new year. Hi, Kendra.
Hi, Joe.
Okay, what do you have? What are you going to talk about?
Today is going to be an interesting discussion because it is a Marmite book, but I'm interested to see what listeners think as well. This is How to Tell When We Will Die on Pain, Disability, and Doom by Johanna Hedva, and this is performed by the author as well. And this title really gives you an insight on all the essays are about disability and the different aspects of intersections of disability. Johanna Hedva is Asian American and disabled, is very pro kink and a musician. So they do a little bit of everything.
Right, right. And when you say a Marmite book, you mean like Marmite. People love it or they do not.
Exactly.
I want to ask which way you come down on Marmite.
Well, Marmite itself, I don't think I've actually ever had Marmite.
Oh, okay. Well, next time, promise me before I talk to you next month, you'll try it.
I will go find it.
So tell me why this is a Marmite book.
Well, this book really delves into ideas around disability studies, and I really appreciate their thoughts on, like, for example, one of the reasons this book exists is that they wrote an essay about being disabled and protesting in the wake of the Ferguson riots, and how, as a disabled person, they
Mhm,
weren't able to go out and protest in, the traditional way of physically going out. They had to find other ways to do that. And then that went viral, and so they write a lot about disability and disability in sex, how, disabled people are often desexualized and almost made to be as children. And that can be very frustrating. And as a disabled person, I really enjoy their writing. I think one of the things that will be, I guess, the marmite of this book is the performance of the audiobook. And one of the things is that it's an author reading their work. You can tell they're not a professional audiobook performer, and it's kind of hit or miss, I think, in that way.
well, why don't we hear a little right from the get-go and see what we think?
So this is from the beginning of the book, and it's talking about stereotypes and common narratives around disability.
Okay, this is How to Tell When We Will Die on Pain, Disability, and Doom, written and read by Johanna Hedva.
It's usually a villain, driven to evil because of our disability or illness. We are the Joker, slipping through the cracks of society to be lost to diabolical lunacy. We are the Phantom of the Opera, born disfigured, a symbol of the subhuman. As nothing else does, we animate the horror genre as the deformed, the monstrous, the worst thing that could possibly be imagined. The first horror movie ever, 1917's The Black Stork, tells the eugenics motivated story of a disabled baby being murdered in order to keep society safe from the nightmare the baby augurs.
I'm not saying the book isn't important and that they aren't saying important things that we should know, but I find the narration slow and halting, and I really would have a hard time listening
Yes.
unless you get used to that as it goes on.
Yes, when I've talked to a few different people about this book, and a lot of most people who I've talked to who've listened to the audiobook speed it up, put it on a faster speed, just because it is pretty slow.
Yeah, that's a good idea, which one can do.
Yeah, and I love how a lot of apps now have a lot of different options for speeds, and so that's really great. So I think that if that's the main issue with the performance that a listener is having, that is a great solution. I agree. I think it is a bit slow and a bit halting. I think in other essays, though, I feel like they do hit their stride a bit more, especially when they're reading narratives
Mhm.
or anecdotes about their own life and incorporating that into the essays. I think that's when their performance really finds its footing, as it were.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense.
Yes. So I'm interested to see what listeners think and what their experiences with the audiobook. But it's always interesting when, you really enjoy the content of the audiobook,
Right.
but maybe the performance isn't your favorite. So what are people's strategies with that? And so I'm on an app called Storygraph, and so a lot of people discuss audiobooks performances over there. And so I'm interested to see reviews of the audiobook there as well.
Okay. That is How to Tell When We Will Die on Pain, Disability, and Doom, written and read by Johanna Hedva. Thank you so much, Kendra. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right, looking forward to it.
Me too. Thanks for listening to Behind the Mic with AudioFile Magazine. If you like us, leave us a rating. And don't forget to follow us. I'm Joe Reed. Talk to you tomorrow.